Hi. It's been a bit of a tough morning. Mr. Cyborg is doing well. My legs are smashed, but that's fine. Painkillers galore. So we just got off the phone to Jason and wanted to touch on a few things about the family and the family not supporting you as you endeavor on your road to success or road being an entrepreneur. And Jason mentioned how back in London the Prime Minister Boris Johnson is talking about doubling down and people having to go to work from home. And the government is a family. The government is full of people. They might have administrative duties, but they're still people and they come from families. We come from families. We have our little tribes, we have our little social groups. But in grand scheme of things, we are a micro and a macrocosm of each other. And what you're actually starting to see now is the mental illness because of betrayal, distrust, betrayal, mental illness. And this develops because as young children, our families try their best to love us. But along the way, you start finding out they're telling you porky-pies, little white lies, justifications of what they're doing. So what this tends to do to the young individual is they start to see that the world is not this perfect little picture that you painted it. The little books that you write about how to conduct yourself, how you're going to be fair, how you're going to be equitable, is all a pile of pogwash, is all a pile of tut. And then when this happens, a young child, boy or girl, starts seeing that you can't be trusted. Now, what happens with a lot of people in the government families, they are unable to tell you this is why they're doing it because of this. Because a 5-year-old will say, wait a minute, but you say this is wrong. Yes. So if this is wrong and you are doing something that's wrong, doesn't by bare logic mean that you're wrong? And the answer is yes. But what will happen is, I'm wrong, but I have to be. You see, this is a contradiction. Being wrong and strong is a contradiction. And when you have a contradiction, you have a fall down of community, you have a fall down of trust. You have a community that can't trust the government. You have a community that can't trust their mother, their brothers, their sisters, their compadres. And what are we all doing to bring the trust back? Most people are doing sweet F all. Why are they doing sweet F all? Because they don't have it in them anymore. They don't have the spring in their steps. They will settle for mediocrity, and that's fine. We're not going to settle for mediocrity. Because as a 5-year-old boy, I learned very quickly when I start to question the world, asking adults, how comes this is this? How comes that is that? I used to be met by slaps. I used to be met by punishment. And I realized very quickly I cannot listen to what people say. I have to see what they do. So my pattern recognition mind started developing. I am so sensitive to sound, I can see and hear things, just a single breath, something that is, if I know your regular pattern and you skip a slight breath, a slight inch, I'll know something is up. This is why when I started with the team and started learning data scientists and being a statistician and programming, it felt so comfortable, because for so many years I couldn't trust what people were telling me. I couldn't trust what people were telling me because all of them, by none, they have a stake in bamboozling me or bamboozling you all. We don't have a stake in bamboozling you. I'm actually sick and tired of all of the guff that is spouted by these individuals. Just say you haven't got it in you. Just say you haven't got the skills. Just say you don't know. I don't know have a clue about football. I don't have a clue about many things. Some people try to laugh at me. I remember one time, a friend of mine, I went round, he was building a cabin of sorts. And he goes, I just drilled this and put it. It's me, how'd you do it? He goes, what do you mean? It's me, he started laughing at me. Because you don't, it's me. I've got soft hands. So my point is, when you have a situation or a world where You have young men and women unable to trust. And these individuals might have autism, or these individuals might have a brain that you might think it's not like other people. Why would they communicate with you, or why would they listen to anything you've got to say when all they see around you is pure betrayal? And why can't you just come up to us and say, wait a minute, we've been betrayed too. We have that in common. How can we now address this so we don't leave everyone in the lurch? So we don't have a world where everyone is trying to get one over in each other and just cheat the system. We've got to do better, ladies and gentlemen. Mental health is serious. I'm going to do some other videos later on, because the things that I've seen and the stories that we'll hear is going to melt your hearts. And that's why we can't let tomorrow be worse than yesterday. Thank you very much.